Hey guys, so I am here with my friend Sadie Cherney. She is a great friend and she also is the owner of the Clothes Mentor here in Greenville, as well as Spartanburg and in Columbia, right?
Yes.
And so I'm really excited because one of the things that I'm really passionate about is helping us feel amazing today. Like right now, where we are, no matter what our body looks like, helping us live in confidence and be amazing today. So I'm really excited. She's got some fun ideas for how we can learn about our bodies and how to dress our bodies in a way that really looks, that makes us feel confident and makes us walk out the door and just helps put a little extra pep in our step. And she also has some ideas for how we can add maybe a little glam or a little fun to our holiday wardrobe as well. So I know that one of the things that I hear from my friends is that we walk in the dressing room, we grab some things, and then we walk out and we feel a little frustrated or a little defeated because we don't have an amazing experience there sometimes. So can you tell us maybe some tips or some ideas for how we can make that experience a little bit more pleasant and maybe even a little bit fun for some of us?
Absolutely. So one of the things I like to do personally before I go in the fitting room, because I still have those struggles sometimes, I like to think about the things I'm really grateful for before I go in there with my body. I think about, my kids, or I think about my ability to work out or my ability to do my job, which is very, very physically demanding.
Yeah.
And so I go in there with those mindset, like that gratitude mindset first. That's the first thing. And then when it comes to sizing, I give myself a variety of sizes. So if I'm looking for a pair of black pants at a place like Clothes Mentor, we carry a ton of brands. I may be a 6 in one brand and a 10 in another. And so one of the things that I do is I give myself a lot of choices. And I know that that can be exhausting because it's a lot of try on, but the more options you have, the better you're set up. Mm-hmm. I also like to pair things that are really challenging to fit. So like a work pant would be a good example, like a tailored pant. That's really tricky, right? Jeans are really hard. Yeah. With something that's kind of a given. So I might try those things on with a top like this would fit me. It would fit a person a size smaller than me. It would fit a person 2 sizes bigger than me. Right. Something that I know is like my style that I'm going to love. And so I can set myself up for like, okay, I've just tried on 4 pairs of pants and everything's baggy in the wrong place and tight in the wrong place. But I do like this top. So I think kind of giving yourself a lot of options. I also am always a huge fan of like asking for help, going with a friend. We are so much harder on ourselves than we would be on anyone else. And so having somebody who will be honest with you, you don't want the person who tells you everything's going to look great, because not everything you try on in a fitting room is. But somebody who can kind of level you out when you get off the deep end and say like, hey, that first pair of black pants is what you wanted. You wanted them to be professionally fitted. You wanted them to be the right length. They're those things. You may not love them, but they look fine. Somebody that can center you around we see so many women come out and they're just, I'm so blank, whatever it is that they don't like, nothing ever works. And so having a person can be a really good way around that.
So can you tell us a little bit about how we can dress our body? I know we all have different body shapes. And so how do we make sure that we are accentuating parts that we want to accentuate? And are there some tips or tricks in how we look for clothing that helps us do that?
Yeah, so I think when I look at body shape, the things that I try to think about are lines, right? Mm-hmm. And so there are kind of 2 schools of thought. There's like the know your shape, dress for your shape with like a set of rules. And we can talk a little bit about that. And then there's lines. And so lines for me are more simple. Okay. And so when you think about lines, you think about the parts of your body that are the widest that you don't want to look wide. So let's say you're a person who's got like a very large bust line and you're trying to minimize that. You don't want anything that's going to cut along that bust line. So you wouldn't want a ruffle that ends right here. You wouldn't want a neckline that ends right here. You don't want anything to create a line that's going to draw attention to the wide part of your body. I am a person who has very wide hips. And so for me, when I get dressed something like this, I have a tuck on this because I don't ever want a shirt that's going to end right here on my hip line, because that's going to make that look wider. And so for me, something that flares out at the bottom or something that's baggy at the top, those are fine places for me to add volume. But right here, you're going to see I always do a tuck, or I wear a belt, or I do something to make that line not look like it's so big.
Okay. So this ruffle would not be good for certain individuals, but for those of us with maybe less endowed, then it might be an option for
exactly. Well, what it does is it creates volume,
right?
Right, yes. And so in some circumstances, that's going to be the goal,
right?
And that's, and that's perfect. But then if that's not a place where you want to do that, you wouldn't want a ruffle to hit there. Yes. So lines are a really easy way to think about it.
Okay.
But then when we look at the body types, right, and we have the 5 most common, we have hourglass, apple, pear, rectangle, and straight. And so we'll kind of go through first. This would be a really great outfit to wear if you're somebody who has a very straight frame. So that would be not a big booty, not a big bust. You're probably somebody who's flat-chested with a small booty. That's what we tend to see, where we see people who want to create the illusion of volume there. And so with something like that, a pleated pant is going to be your best friend. And even though this is black, you can possibly see with the delineation on the corduroy here, it's going to create the illusion that this mannequin has a bigger waist than she does, because you're going to get volume under the pant. Now up here, we have this big flowing, billowing blouse, which is going to create the illusion that there's more going on here. And ultimately what we've done is, by pulling this really tight here, we've created a waist where you otherwise may not have seen much of one on a very, very small person, because everything's kind of straight, right? So this look would be great whether you're a very petite person, or you just feel like you're flat-chested or have a flat booty. These are good ways that you could separate either one of these and really accentuate.
Okay.
Over here we have this straight crop, is my favorite thing for hourglass people right now. Skinny jeans are wonderful when you really want curves to pop in both places, but if you are pear-shaped or hourglass, I'm going to encourage you, the next big denim trend is going to be that straight leg jean or a straight leg crop. And what's really awesome about it is, if you're pear-shaped, and I can be a little bit pear-shaped, so for me, I'm always looking for ways to make my legs look longer. These look absolutely amazing with a mid-calf boot, with a little bit of the boot showing, and then you're still warm in the winter. But I would say this is a great way to go for a pear-shaped person, because you've got your volume here, so you're still drawing attention to the smallest part of the body up here, and then you've got like a great flowing jean that's going to accentuate your booty and your hips in all the right places.
Awesome.
So last but not least, in terms of the shapes, down here, we'll come back to this one because rectangle's its own little thing. This is going to be rectangle and creating waist, but down here we have our apple-shaped mannequin, right? And so here we have a person. An apple-shaped person is typically going to be your larger busted person, or your person who is anxious to cover their midsection. And so here we've got a sweater over a tight legging, and I think this is going to be the uniform for Thanksgiving, for the Christmas party, for the workday potluck, whatever it may look like this year. I think this is what we're going to see the most, is this leather legging. The brands people know and trust are Spanx and Novi from Nordstrom. Those are really, really popular. And then we've got this great sweater up here. And it's going to be comfortable. It's going to be covering. You want the arms to be fitted if the sweater is huge, right?
Okay.
You'll either want it to be fitted around the wrist or fitted up here. Another thing that's important to note, so this sweater comes right to the shoulder. A lot of them that we're seeing right now, kind of like this shirt, will come out to here with the hemline, and that's going to make your shoulders look broader than they are. Like I said, I'm a pear-shaped person. That's not a big deal for me. If you're a person who has kind of an inverted triangle shape, which apple people sometimes do, and your shoulders are something that you want to minimize, you'll want to make sure that the sleeve line for that hits you right on the edge of your shoulder. Otherwise, it can look a little bit bigger.
So quick question. So something that I know that is really trendy right now are a lot of those bubble sleeves. So in some ways, that might be something that we're looking for. And then in other ways, or for other people, it may be something that they're not looking for. Is that kind of what you're indicating?
So what I would say with a bubble sleeve is, if you're a person who carries volume in the top half of your body, a bubble sleeve that comes up here could be great. If you're a person who carries volume in the bottom half of your body, something as flowy, if it doesn't have the ability to drape. So drapeability with the bubble is going to be a big thing. So a sweater's not going to drape as well as something like this. So like this is bubbly, but it's so light that it still goes to where my skin is, and you can still see where my shoulders are.
Yes.
If I was to put this on in that fabric, it would add easily 10 or 15 pounds to my frame.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So it's kind of like, it's going to be how it hangs on you, which is one of the reasons, I know we've talked about the fitting rooms, but that's one of the reasons they're so important, is this, you could hang this next to something that's made in a different fabric in this exact cut. On the hanger, they'd look the same. On your body, they'd look really different.
Right, yeah.
And so the last one that we have here, this rectangle shape, and this is going to be your person who typically has thin arms, thin legs, and kind of what you would consider a traditional boxy shape through here. So just a lot of times it means that there's not much of a waistline, right? So you have your person, sometimes they'll have a shorter torso, but there's not necessarily that indentation around a waist that a lot of times women seek. And so layers are the best way to achieve that. And what we can see here, this is where you can really see the lines, right? So if there's not a line here and we want to create it and we want it to look small, we'll do a belt like we have here, and then we'll drop something over it. And this way, instead of just adding fabric on fabric on fabric, we have an outfit that's still going to be really cute and warm, but it's also going to create a line where there probably really isn't much of a visible one by drawing attention to it.
Yeah, I know. I think that's really great. I've used this trick a lot to help accentuate more of having a waist, and also a lot more V-neck. I've noticed that helps to kind of draw more attention to the waistline. Is that right?
Yes, V-necks are so flat. Like if you're not a person who is busty and worries about cleavage, V-necks are the most flattering cut in terms of elongating, really showing off your collarbones and creating a really pretty thin line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I love that idea. So, do you have any other tips or ideas for those of us? Some of us might be doing something for the holidays or going out, and others, probably a lot of us, are going to be at home. But any way to add a little sparkle, a little flair, or just make, enjoy dressing up and having a little fun with that. It doesn't have to be a lot of dressing up, but any kind of ideas for that.
I'm a huge accessory person. Okay. What I would say for Thanksgiving this year, it's a year unlike most of the years that any of us have been through. Totally. I would say whatever it is that you're getting dressed up into, get dressed up. And that may mean get dressed up into your best sweatpants. That may mean get dressed up into like something like this. Totally. But get dressed intentionally. Yeah. Get up. It's a day of thanks. And take that time to practice that gratitude. And pop some earrings on, throw on a necklace, but something with sparkle is always a really good way to make an outfit look intentional, even if it's a very comfortable sweatpants on sweatpants, which is what I plan to do, outfit. Yes. I will be sweatpants on sweatpants, but I will have earrings and a headband.
That's right.
And I know which ones they are, and they're going to be clean, and they're going to match. Yes. And those things, and then just kind of intentionally thinking about what you're grateful for that day when you get dressed.
Yeah, no, I love that. I really love that idea, guys. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your ideas. Guys, if you have not been to Clothes Mentor, please come and visit her and give her some love. And her staff is working really hard to make sure that this is a safe environment. And you have online services too, right?
We do. So we've got curbside pickup in all 3 of our locations, and we're doing online. Anything's flat rate shipping, $7.99. Anything over $100 ships for free. And then we've got a great community. You can see the post that we put up for this. We will be doing giveaways. So follow Jennifer, follow us. We'll be doing giveaways kind of around the holidays so that people can come in and shop.
Yes. So I'm so grateful for their generosity, because they have given us a $50 gift card to give away to one of you guys. So you can actually like this video and follow me at jennifer.hunt.nutrition and tag a friend and let us know maybe what your favorite tip was from this video. But definitely make sure you give Sadie and the Clothes Mentor some love this weekend. We are so supportive of small businesses, and I love that this is a female owned small business and really want to give her some love. So thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.